Welcome to GP Bullhound's Tech Thoughts. Today's the 3rd of December, and we are here with Inge Heydorn and Nejla-Salkovic for our weekly market roundup. Today, they will talk about the latest results in software and cover news in the semiconductors and gaming markets. Over to them.
Thank you, Maria. And where do we start this week? It feels like a long week. We're beginning going up and down, but mostly down. So a lot of volatility, and especially in tech. And especially on the high valued names, so growthy names and names with no profit really. But even software has been dragged down heavily, which is highly valued but growing really fast. The software sector in general is down more than 20% since the peak. In this quarter results season, it started off really strong with Microsoft, Adobe, and so on. But lately, we've seen some shakiness, and started off with really Autodesk saying demand was lower due to some effects on the construction side. And then on top of that, we had Salesforce coming out and saying, yes, things are going great, but a reorganization of MuleSoft is affecting sales in the short run, which we believe in. And I think the valuation of Salesforce is not aggressive. The Slack acquisition is doing fantastic. So Salesforce is really doing well. Then last night we had DocuSign coming out and saying that they really were hit now by the fact that clients really don't need to be in a stress to buy their products anymore, which they were during the COVID. So the billings came down at 28% growth, and the market was expecting around 40%, and they're guiding billings in Q4 to 20-21%, which is way below expectations. So the stock indicating down 29% last night after closing. So it's been a little bit more shaky on the software side. On the other hand, we still believe software is a space to be, and that we are quite close to where it normally stops. The drops around 20-30%. That's normally where we've seen the drops historically stop for software, because we still see value in it. It's growing. It's essential for all the companies to have these type of software solutions, and it's really driving the efficiency of the companies. Over to semi-capital equipment then. On the semi-capital equipment side, we have been listening to all the conference calls this week that I've hosted on the different tech conferences, like the Credit Suisse one in Arizona. And the interesting thing coming out from this is that they are breeding a lot of optimism over going into 2022. So listening to all the vendors, they're all positive going into 2022. Listening to all the main clients like Intel, and also the ones producing the chips like AMD and Nvidia, there's definitely continued momentum going into 2022. So if anything, that really strengthens our positive thesis on these names for the next year, and they're generating a lot of cash flow. And it's not a demand problem in the short run, it's a supply problem for the equipment names, which means that the growth will hold on for a while, because it takes time to add capacity. And on top of that, we have all these new factories coming. On top of that, we have all these new initiatives from governments to build factories in each country. Like Canada was the latest now coming out saying they want local production of semiconductors. So positive news on that. On the more negative side, gaming continues to trade very poorly. And with that, I leave over to Nejla.
Thank you, Inge. Yeah, that's correct. I mean, gaming has continued to underperform heavily this week, even though that the data that we have collected over the last couple of months looks healthy on the demand side. And I know I've been talking about this last week. The demand for the gaming PCs and consoles are at a record high and indicating a positive scenario for the upcoming years. The data is clear. Consumers that are buying gaming PCs, consoles, buy games. So that was a really quick update of the gaming market. Thanks for today, and see you next week.